Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cripescast. I'm your host, Charlie Behrens. This is an interview podcast where we talk to people for and or from the Midwest. Let's get to the interview. How's everybody doing? Big thanks to Jolly Good for sponsoring the Cripescast today. My guest, I believe it's your third time on the Cripescast. Is that
you would
right,
know more
Myles?
than me, Charles. You would know more than me. Is it 3?
I was hoping you knew more than me.
I think it might be the second or third time. Yeah.
Second or third time?
Thanks for the invite back. It's nice.
No, it's nice to have
you've
you.
been on our podcast way more, but thanks for the invite back.
Oh, geez. You know, don't bring some guilt in on
I'm
this.
just saying, yeah, it's nice to get an invite because we invite you on ours all the time. So
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to do a little intro situation here. You're part of the intro. Usually our guests aren't part of the intro. And by the way, thanks for letting us use your studio. My audience is going to have to excuse all the Busch Light situations in here, but I'm not going to. I will not say anything bad about Busch Light in this podcast. Out of respect to you letting me use your studio.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see here. Thanks to everyone for all your comments and all that sort of stuff. I actually we had a comment here to read, a nice one, but I lost it. Screwed the pooch. That's kind of how that goes. But thank you for those comments. We do appreciate that. That's actually like, yeah, sure, Charlie. Sure, you got a nice comment this week. Do you ever read comments in your podcast? I would know.
We have a Patreon and people submit topics there. So that's kind of how we do it.
Yeah, we're getting on that Patreon situation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we don't have it yet, but it's coming.
All right.
It's coming. So, and thanks to everyone who came out to the show in Bayfield last week, Big Top, Chautauqua. We had a blast. We were under the big tent up there. And shows coming up. We're doing Cincinnati. We're doing, got a couple shows in Ohio, actually. And then we're doing Chippewa Falls, Hayward. All that's coming up. And if you want to check out those tour dates, just go to cripescast.com. And, there's probably a bunch of other stuff I'm supposed to say in the intro. But Myles, like you, I am nothing without the people who help me out.
Yes.
And Colleen, the fearless executive producer of the Cripescast, is back in Milwaukee right now, and she's going to be thrilled at how lovely.
It's an away game for you.
It's an away.
It's an away game.
So, Myles, aside for you being my best friend in the entire world.
Besties. Hashtag besties.
Hashtag besties. I wanted to bring you on the Cripescast again, really to let people know that we just started our own podcast, the Bellied Up podcast.
Yes. Well, we're like, hey, we should definitely do a podcast together, a weekly thing.
Because we don't have enough to do.
Yeah, we said, let's throw another one on the plate.
Yeah.
But what we were like, okay, what is me and you's,
yeah,
me and you's,
yeah,
like us in our best form? What is that? And we thought back to our video, the guys in a small town bar, and we're like, this was peak Myles and Charlie. We got to build a podcast around that. And that's how we got the Bellied Up podcast. We're bellied up to the bar.
Yeah. And we started with that, and then it's like, okay, but just us talking at a bar. I like you.
The first
you like
couple
me.
Episodes will be great. But then after that, it's going to be tough sledding. So we decided to do what, Charlie?
Well, we decided, I think we decided to do a call-in show where we could have people from all over the Midwest. And frankly, we've had people from all over the world call in, which has been super cool.
We've had Japan,
Germany.
We've had Germany. We've had Florida, which
Daytona Beach,
also a different part of the world than the United States.
Yeah,
yes.
it's its own entity. And that's been really, but what I like about that is I think you and I kind of came up around the same time, creating videos in the Midwest, and something that, we were just talking about this in your office, something that we like about it and that really helped us is that we incorporated the audience. We asked them for suggestions. And in that sense, we felt like we were building this together with the audience. And so having a call-in show just makes it again seem like we're all building this together, and we're really hearing from our the folks who are listening, what they like, what they don't like, getting their advice for us. Even though we started off as we're giving you advice, a lot of people just start giving us advice.
They realize real quickly that we're the ones who need advice. Yeah. Well, and if you think about it, a bar is a little community, just like the Midwest is a big community, right?
Yeah.
And what happens when you go into a bar? Whether you ask for it or not, you're going to get unsolicited advice from whoever's sitting at that bar rail.
Especially if your dad's sitting there at the bar rail.
Oh my God. They get one drink on them and it just starts spewing advice.
Midwest dads love to do that.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why you go to the bar is to talk to everyone that's there. You got new people coming into town. You got the regulars. And that's kind of what Bellied Up is. It's just one big, it's a podcast form of what it's like to just go to a small town bar.
Yeah. And we've given, but it's not just advice either. It's buy, sell, and trade. Because if you go to a bar, one of my favorite parts about the bar is the clipboard, the tack board they got, and people put a tractor they want to sell. Someone says wanted, and they put that in there. They put their business card up there. And we kind of have done all of that.
It's even like you go in there and you start complaining, right? You're like, oh, God, I'm looking for a new tractor. I can't find it anywhere. And then he's like, actually, I got a buddy in Davenport that's looking to sell it's like almost just a buy, sell, and trade on accident when you go into a bar. It's not even posted on the wall sometimes.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, what is it? Well, why don't I give him a call right now? Hey, Joe, what's going on with that tractor you got over there in Davenport? It's, the belt's a little loose and but does it run if the belt weren't loose? Well, it should get it done, And that's what we're doing. We're just, it's a fun show, though. I've had a great time doing it. So if they want to follow the Bellied Up podcast, how can they do that?
Just go to, you just anywhere you can find podcasts, you just search Bellied Up. We'll pop up there. And then obviously on YouTube, Instagram, all those handles, just Bellied Up Pod, I believe is what it is, right, Jared?
Correct, yep.
And just follow us there. You can call in. We'll let you know. We're going to try and do a better job of letting them know ahead of time when we're going to shoot. And then, just call until you get us to pick up. Yeah,
it's been kind of fun, though. We've just really low-key put on our Instagram or Facebook stories or whatever, hey, we're at X, this bar, that bar. And by the way, that's another thing I like doing is just highlighting all these cool small bars around the Midwest. But we just throw it on on our stories, and people have called in, and that's been, I can't thank your fans and my fans enough just for really making this very successful right off the bat.
What's the longest we've had to wait for a new call to come in has been like 3 minutes,
which is
insane.
And I don't take that. I know you don't take that for granted. So big thanks to our audiences for doing that. What has been your favorite caller that we've had so far? I know it's tough to pick them, but
it's been, we've done a lot now, because we shoot 6 episodes at one time.
Yeah, it's hard to remember.
Some of the most notable, the gal from Germany, and then you told her basically to be more Midwestern, you just hit her with your car. And that's great sound Midwestern.
I don't think that's what I said.
Or hit a deer with your car.
I said hit a deer with your car.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Don't hit her with the car.
No, that's,
Yeah.
Don't throw me under the car like that.
I think the gal talking about dating advice, and she said that she likes to go with finger guns, and we're like, that's the best pickup line you can do is finger guns someone from across the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm sorry that I spoiled Top Gun for you.
So you guys are all going to have to listen to, I don't know when that one's coming out.
It's coming up here soon.
I told Myles I hadn't seen Top Gun. And then in talking with a gentleman
who was also a pilot,
a Navy pilot, based, I believe, Florida, or was it? It was somewhere down south, wasn't it?
He was moving to Washington.
Washington, yeah. I said, what are you doing up there? And he says, I tell you, but I have to kill you. Actually, he gave me a very polite Midwest answer. Stuff. And then Myles read between the lines. And then after he did that,
asking someone in the military about their secret operations. They're not going to tell you.
Yeah,
Charlie.
well, I knew that, but I was just, I was just being a journalist there, just seeing what he would say, And anyway, shortly after that, you told me how Top Gun ends. the latest one. And I still actually have not forgiven you for that.
I know. It's going to be a long road ahead of me to earn your trust back.
Yeah. Well, an apology would be a nice start.
Well, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not very Midwest of you. Had I ruined the ending of Top Gun for you, I would have apologized at least 15 times by now. So
I'm sorry, Charlie.
I don't I felt that.
I'm sorry.
I really felt that. I'm glad we caught that on camera.
Just bleep that out, please.
So in other news, we've kind of both been doing this for a number of years now, and I kind of wanted to ask you, you've built a pretty big team. I built a pretty big team as well, not as big as yours. You've got an entire merch operation.
Yeah, it's like funny thing that people are like, oh, how many employees you got? And you're like, well, we got like 18 total now.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And I'm like, is it?
Huh?
So it's a lot of mouths to feed, and it's also a lot of work to make sure that everyone has what they need. It's like the more employees you got, everyone is like assuming like, oh yeah, okay. So that sounds really fun. And you're like, it is fun at times, but it's also a lot of responsibility,
It is. And a big reason that you have so many employees is you've decided to, whereas most creators sort of take their merch operations and outsource them, you have insourced yours, and we are sitting in your bunker here in Fargo.
Above ground bunker, which is really smart of us.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, but it's kind of fun. And it literally says the bunker outside of it.
Well, thank you for telling everyone where we're at.
No,
Charlie.
I didn't. But if anyone does want the address, I'll DM that to you, unless I get another apology from Myles about the Top Gun thing.
I'm sorry.
So, but what has that been like? Because you are essentially doing two monster jobs. One is being a content creator on the internet, between podcasts and sketches and having the various brands you have, but then also you are running a whole ass merch operation.
Yeah, I think it's stressful. I think one thing that people don't realize about, well, I think the good content creators at least, is how much all day long content creators and people who are running business thinks about the end customer, the end viewer, right? Like I'm thinking all day of like, I want to put out videos that the people who follow us are going to love, right? And it's, that can be exhausting, right? Because it's like, you're just thinking about it all day long.
Yeah.
And then you add on top of that, like, how can we make our customer service on our merch side as best as possible with, like how fast can we get them their shirts?
Yeah.
If we mess up something, how fast can we make that right and all that stuff? And I think that becomes a bit of a task, but we have an unbelievable team here that, I mean, I would never tell this to their face, but they're doing a great job.
Yeah. No, it's good to let them always just be on edge.
Yeah.
Never, give them the satisfaction
don't
of knowing
give them any approval,
In doing, well, actually, seriously, how do you, show your team appreciation?
Out of Jared, I feel like I try and make sure that it's like, it's less attaboys and it's more like I want you to enjoy working here. So we have like unlimited vacation time. And if you need a mental day off, just take it. Even little things like, I didn't know this, but apparently like people don't get really short maternity, and some people don't even give paternity leave at their jobs. So like even just doing stuff like that like, hey, like I know you work hard, so like when it comes to you're gonna have a kid, like you don't need to come back in a month, like just be with your kid while you're afterwards. So stuff like that. I don't know.
Now you give those benefits to your team.
Yes.
Do you give those same benefits to yourself?
Probably not. I don't know.
Do you feel like you can take
I mean, there's some days where I'm like, all right, hey, you guys have to fend for yourself. I'm not coming in because I'm out of town or whatever. But I don't know. I
think that's the interesting thing about being sort of a content creator these days, or whatever you want to call us. But I don't like, if you work for a network or you're on a TV show or something, you have your season. And then your season ends and you take like a 6-month vacation or a 3-month vacation.
Yes.
If you're in the NFL, you play your season and then you get X amount of months off. You get the off season. If you are a blue collar worker doing your thing, you've got the weekends off a lot of times.
Yeah, and we try and have most weekends off. Like if we're traveling and we have to do that, like we'll work the weekends, but we don't post anything rarely on Saturday or Sunday just because it's like you do need to keep that somewhat of like a structure and be able to like go and do other things other than work.
No, totally. And I know you give your team that sort of benefit, but I guess what I'm asking is like when it's the weekend, do you feel like you are ever completely tuned out of it?
I mean, if you own a business, you're never not thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's just like we have a business podcast where, I mean, that's what the whole thing is. It's called Raging Workaholics. And it's like, that's what it's about, is just like, oh, you're never going to turn it off. So,
yeah.
But it's also like, would I want to not do what I'm doing? Like, would I trade the like mental space on the weekends back? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I do. It's like, it's a very toxic relationship you have with your business, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't live without it, but your life would be sometimes way better without it. It's like a weird thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. So how do you balance it? What do you do in your free time that
I like to go golfing.
Yeah.
Usually when I'm on the course, I'm pretty like focused on the golf game, which is it's like one of the few, and it used to be like watching Netflix shows and stuff. Yeah. But now I found out that all I do is watch like Narcos and drug cartel shows. It's all about Peaky Blinders. It's all about business. And it's like, then I just start thinking about it more. So yeah. Golf is like where I really like am able to just relax and just only play golf. My phone is the GPS thing now. They got the apps for those. And it's always like I have a little thing I set it in and it's like always open. So the notifications, I don't see them because they come up and they pop away. You know, it's like I just don't even respond to messages or anything when I'm out there, which is kind of nice.
That's great. And how is your golf game?
It's getting better.
Yeah? Where are you shooting these days?
You know, I'm a 15 handicap, which, you know, I probably started infinitely higher than that.
Yeah.
I had my best round I ever hit the other day.
Oh, what'd you get?
It was kind of a shorter course, like not as many par fives, a few more par threes. So it was a par 64. I shot a 71 on 18 holes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That was a big deal. That was pretty. I had a couple beers after that.
Yeah, did you?
Good,
a little celebratory deal.
Yeah.
Are you one of those guys that plays golf barefoot?
No, but I think mentally I'd love to be one of those guys because it's pretty cool. But I think I have too big of calves and ankles for it to look cool.
Oh, really?
I gotta have shoes, the bulkiness of shoes. Yeah, I got thick ankles. I got cankles, really.
Oh, I haven't spent a lot of time looking at your
we'll
ankles.
have to take a look at it after the podcast.
Yeah.
Take a peek at the calves and ankles.
What PGA golfer would you say you resonate most with?
Tiger Woods.
Tiger?
Yeah.
Tiger?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Tiger Woods.
All right. Well, you know, I was gonna say, you know, you could have like, you just said you had beers after the game, so John Daly is immediately out.
Yeah, well, I have them during it too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say I also like to think I'm a little like Phil Mickelson. You know, he can crack a joke now and again while you're playing.
Yeah.
He's also pretty good at like, he's always getting into trouble and getting out of trouble.
Yeah.
The other day I shot an okay round. It was not as good as my other one, but I hit 0 fairways. So I was constantly working around trees and
had to do it the hard way.
Yeah. So, I'm not hitting any fairways.
Yeah. Hey, got a question for you. I got a string of questions. How do you know if someone is from the Midwest when you are outside of the Midwest and you just bump into them?
Honestly, you can tell it before you even talk to them.
How?
Attire.
Yeah. Okay.
You can, if you lined up 10 people in, let's say, Florida.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you'd be able to pick out the people who are from the Midwest.
What is a classic Midwest person wearing in Florida?
Well, usually it's baggier clothing.
Yeah.
We tend to go with baggier clothes.
Yeah. Why is that?
It's comfort.
Yeah.
You start getting a little tighter. It's like, fashion's more tighter.
Yeah.
And comfort's more loose. That's kind of And what's funny is I had a video. I was just wearing a pair of Levi jeans. They're 541s. Levi 541s.
Yeah, the 541s. Yeah.
They're the like athletic fit, right?
Yeah.
I got a big ass, so I got to fit it into some jeans.
Large badonk.
And basically, they're just regular jeans. They might be a little tapered, but because I just have American thighs, they look like skinny jeans.
Yeah.
And I wore them in a video and everyone's like, Jesus Christ, look at this guy in these skinny jeans. Like, I'm like, I wanted to come back to everyone and be like, I promise you, it's just because I got these thick calves, thick ankles, and I'm thick down there,
Normal jeans, thick fella.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm not buying skinny jeans, but I kind of turn them into that a little bit. I can't do anything about it.
Okay, clothing aside, so we got the clothing down, but let's say you're still not sure, and you start a conversation. What are some indicators?
If they bring up the weather.
Yeah, if that's their lead in.
I think half of the calls we've done on the Bellied Up podcast, you've let in with how's the weather down there.
Yeah, I know.
The guy from Florida, you're like, hey, is it hot down there? And he's like, oh yeah, it's humid.
That's hilarious because I'm not even thinking about that.
That's your default.
That is my default. You're right. Well, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. What are words that they say to you that are indicators? Like if you bump into someone and they give you an ope, that's pretty clear indicator.
Yeah, I think that if you use the word buddy instead of friend, like I got a friend over there, whatever. If it's, hey, I got my buddy over there. People don't say that as much in other parts of the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it, buddy. Got it.
Buddy's a good one. I'm trying to think of, it's just their classic Midwest stuff, right? Like, if someone calls it a bubbler, you're going to be like, that person's from Wisconsin and it's kind of crazy,
Yeah. It's in the, if you're still not sure halfway through the conversation, try and wrap up the conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
And then if it takes you longer than the conversation from the point you start wrapping it up to the point you end, if they give you one of them classic long Midwest goodbyes, which you've been part of many long Midwest goodbyes.
Yeah, I've probably spent a third of my life in them.
What?
It's like the stat that you spend like a third of your life sleeping. Well, Midwesterners spend a third of their life in the Midwest goodbye. So you got 1/3 of your life left to live. You live to be 100, you spend 33 years in the Midwest goodbye.
What are your favorite parts of the Midwest goodbye?
I'm a big whelper.
Yeah, whelp.
Well, I suppose a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's also like, hey, well, I got you here.
Yeah. Can you come check out this gut? You mind holding the ladder while I get the gutters cleared out quick? While I got you here.
Well, I got you here.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, here we go. Another half hour, another third of my life.
So here's my favorite part, which I don't know a name to call this yet, but and maybe I brought it up on this podcast before or not, but I still don't have a name. So I'm not sure if we've done it, but you're in a conversation. Let's say you bring Ann to a party, right?
Yep.
And there's another couple there. And you and the fella from the other couple, usually the guys talk to the guys, the gals talk to the gals. Ann and that guy's wife are in a conversation. You are in a conversation with the fella. And you are doing nothing but listening to Ann's conversation to figure out when she's wrapping it up. So then because the worst is when you're like, oh, she's done with or you're done with the conversation, but they're still going.
Or what I like to do, you catch a little tidbit and then you talk about how dumb and the stuff that they're talking about is with the guy, right? Like, talking about Target again, am I right? Like,
that's the move right there.
So you You wait for something that they say to then complain about to the other guy.
But you're still starting a new conversation with that guy. And the thing is, so I think what you have to do is hear that they're talking about Target and then be like, oh my gosh, did you just hear they're talking about Target? And then get back into a group conversation.
Well,
and then you can make eye contact with Ann.
Well, it depends. Do you want, I kind of prefer the segregated talk. I actually don't mind that. I'm not trying to get back into a full group conversation.
But you are trying to leave at this point. This is when you've tried to leave the party. I thought you were just talking
about being out for dinner.
No, totally different. This is when you've tried to leave for like 3 hours now.
Okay, this is my move,
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, she does every time we're trying to leave somewhere. Just can't get her to stay. I got to get home and do this and that. So you end the conversation there, and then you separately go over, and you're like, hey, Ani, remember, we got get up early tomorrow. Let's go. And then you just start walking towards the door, and then eventually you just go sit in the car, and then they'll come out when they're ready.
Which could be another 2 hours. I feel like that is. I feel like that might be the wrong move right there.
Okay, well,
but at least you're enjoying the silence by yourself.
That is true.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We got that. I like it. A few more little quick things here. So how much is the Midwest barter? So what's an equivalent trade for the following things I'm going to say? A ride to the airport.
A ride home from the bar.
Ride home from the... Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Nice. How much... how about letting someone borrow your mower?
Let them borrow your saw.
Oh, you think a saw to mower is equivalent?
Yeah.
What are we talking, table saw or
I think definitely a table saw.
Because a table saw, that's not coming back.
Well,
that's a 2-person moving job.
But also,
how
many? You're not using the table saw as much.
That's true. That's true. I'd be careful about lending. My dad let me borrow his table saw. It's still sitting in my garage. Been there 6 months now. I honestly
have borrowed out a table saw, and I don't exactly know where it is right now.
All right, letting someone use your leaf blower.
I think letting them use it, inviting them over and cooking them some steak on the grill.
That's very Midwest of you, because I think a steak leaf blower exchange, I mean, steaks are pretty pricey, pretty spendy these days.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, can I borrow your leaf blower? Like, don't worry, I'll invite you guys over for steak next week or something. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. And do you actually do it?
What?
Invite them over for steak?
Well, so in the neighborhood, Matt, I don't actually have I have 3 lots in between me and the next neighbor, so I don't get to do it as much. Gotcha.
Do you know your neighbors well?
No.
You don't?
No.
Why not?
Well, I'm new to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, it's not like you're walking out of your house and your neighbor's right next door. I literally have 3 lots.
That's true.
On either side of me. I'm kind of on an island out there.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well,
plus it's I get home at 9:00 a lot of the weeknights, and it's they're already tucked in bed. I can't be hanging out with my neighbors. It's kind of a unfortunate thing.
Well, maybe you should have a garage party.
I should.
Yeah.
Pick a Saturday in the fall.
Yeah. Just come on over, hang out in the garage.
Yeah.
And then finally telling someone the ultimate walleye spot.
I mean, I don't want to say it, and this might not be very PG, Charlie.
Yeah.
But if you're going to give away, no, I'm not going to say it.
I already know where you're going. I think the audience does too. We'll leave it right. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
You can't be doing that.
We're going to have to leave it right there.
I went from not going to say it, say it. No, not going to say it.
Okay. This is, we're doing red flags of the Midwest. Calls soda pop or calls pop soda. Which one's a red flag for you?
Calling it soda pop or soda?
Calling it pop or calling it... Are you a soda guy or you a pop guy?
Pop guy.
Pop guy. What if they call it soda pop?
And a red flag like a buddy, or you're dating someone and they call it soda?
I'm going with dating someone.
Not enough of a red flag for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're willing to overlook.
It's maybe a yellow flag.
If they call it Coke?
That's a red flag. It's definitely, well, unless they want a Coke.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a different situation.
But they wouldn't want a Coke. They'd want a Jolly Good.
Thank you for doing that. Jolly Good, the proud sponsor of the Cripescast podcast.
There you go.
All righty. Speaking of which, that's a great segue for a little break for our ad reads, ladies and gentlemen. Jolly Good is a proud sponsor of the Cripescast. If you're looking for a Jolly Good, just head on over to jollygoodsoda.com. You can only get it in Wisconsin, unfortunately, but, you can always buy it on the internet. And if you're in Wisconsin, you're like, where is that Jolly Good? Just go to any store, and if they don't have in there, ask the manager, hey, where's that Jolly Good at? Also, I want to thank Duluth Trading Company, another proud sponsor. I hope they're proud. I try to make them proud of the Cripescast. Duluth, fantastic shirts. I think I said this the last time.
I'm wearing their underwear right now.
Their underwear is the best, isn't it?
Yeah, I got the Christmas edition on.
Nice.
They got a bunch of Santa hats all over it.
Yeah, I got the same ones. I have the little reindeer ones.
Yeah,
those are nice.
There you
go. They really hold you in there nice.
They do.
Yeah.
They keep you cool as well.
They do. They do have
a guy like me with big calves.
Yeah.
You want to stay cool, and it starts with the undergarments.
Yeah, they do. Big calves means you gotta be kept cool in the underpants region.
If your underpants are hot, your calves are going to be hot too.
That's true. No, this is philosophy right now. It's not even an ad read anymore.
If you want to not have sweaty undergarments, you got to go to Duluth Trading Company.
That's absolutely true, and you can do it by going to duluthtrading.com.
There we go.
And finally, folks, if you're looking for some Midwest stuff, some clothing, or whatever, best way to support the Cripescast is go to cripescast.com, click on the merch section, and you can get playing cards, you can get koozies, shirts, hoodies, hats. They say, tell your folks I says hi.
Cripes.
Watch out for deer. Cripes. Cheese Louise. We're actually coming out with wallets, too. Little plastic wallets. Isn't that sick?
Is it a Velcro one?
No, it should be. Velcro's great. But these are the little plastic deals, the ones that hold a few cards, Mm-hmm. Midwest dads may have a problem with it. They like those big, thick ones, but this won't be that.
You got to store the receipts.
You got to keep track of them for the IRS. Anyway, you can get all that stuff on mandwalkmint.com. And if you want any Myles' stuff, go ahead and check out at youbetcha.com. He's got some nice shirts too. If you're in Fleet Farm, you can get our stuff there too. Okie dokes. Back to the podcast. Back to this red flag situation. What, you don't like the red flag game?
I love it. Just pick up right where we were at.
Yeah, I got to tease in. People want to hear the rest of the red flag game, right? Calls casserole hot dish.
I think that's a red flag. But it's also like, it's so like hyper concentrated. Like even other people in the Midwest don't even call it hot dish. It's like a North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe Iowa, I don't know, but everyone else just calls it casserole.
Yeah. Well, Wisconsin, it's very, Wisconsin's very casserole. Minnesota's very hot dish.
Yeah,
might even
so
be
not
the
even
line.
Wisconsin's casserole.
Well, it depends where, and also,
you know what? I revoked my red flag.
Yeah, okay, you're allowed to do that.
If it's a Minnesota gal and she calls it casserole, that's a red flag.
Yeah,
because she's probably lying to you about a bunch of stuff.
She could also be talking about two different things, though, because technically casserole and hot dish are two different things.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's not a catch-all.
Don't jump to the red flag so quick. Ask a few questions before you're like, all right, I'm out of here.
That's true. I'm glad we're learning lessons as we go on this. It's about judgmental. Okay. They are a Lutheran, but you are a Catholic.
That's not a red flag.
It's not a red flag at all. Okay. Is it for your mother?
No. No, I think it's fine.
My mom to this day, if I'm dating someone, the first question will be like, "Oh, is she Catholic?"
Yeah, that'll happen.
I'd have to be like, "Yeah, she went to Catholic grade school once for a year."
I mean, she knows that Catholicism exists.
Yeah. You always start with the positives.
Yeah.
She is aware of the Pope.
She's heard of it. Yeah. Yeah, I asked her. That was the first thing. You heard of Catholics before?
She said, yeah, so I knew we could enjoy our first date in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good to know. She does not have a bag of bags underneath her sink.
Well, so what sucks about this one?
You don't have a bag of bags.
No, you got to be pretty deep to find this. Like, you've already been committed to dating this person, because it's not like you're like your first time going to their house. You're like looking for the bag of
Let's
bags.
hope not. That wouldn't be very Catholic.
That would be, yeah. I would be, whoa. Let's pump the brakes here.
Yeah.
So you got to be pretty deep in this to find it out. It might be too late to be like pulling out because of the bag of bags.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Well, what are they doing if they don't have a bag of bags? What's
know.
the alternative?
Are they just buying?
Do other people not have that?
I don't know, but I mean, I think you know what? I think it's a financial problem. It gets into the finances, because are you really buying actual garbage bags for your bathroom garbage can?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, if you're not just using those Fleet Farm bags. I don't know. Do you like that?
It was on brand. I
had to snuck a little Fleet Farm in there.
I was actually, as you were trying to pick a store, I was like, please say Fleet Farm. Please say Fleet Farm.
Myles and I are both proudly sponsored by Fleet Farm.
Well, we're presented by.
Oh, yeah, presented. Yeah, I never know the difference. Myles, during the...
Sponsor is such a jarring word.
During the Bellied Up podcast, Myles is like, you want to do the intro on this? First of all, he jumps to do the intros a lot. He doesn't trust me at all. And then
I just am more of a control freak than Charlie is.
You are. I'm more of a yes and person. You're more of a no, stop. You did it the wrong way. Let me do it now. Which is fine. We learn as we go.
We're fine.
Okay. She doesn't know how to get her car out of the snow.
Doesn't know how, or is because
doesn't know how.
If Anne went into the thing, she'd call me and I'd have to come pull her out, if she went in the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it matters how much panic mode goes into it.
Right? I see. Sure.
If she's panicking after she puts her car in the ditch in the snow or gets stuck in the snow, that's kind of a red flag. But if it's just like, well, did her again. Better call someone to come pull me out, or call someone with a shovel that can come shovel me out. I feel like that's more. So basically, I just took your question and just changed it. Yeah,
which is fine.
Yeah,
you're allowed to do that.
What about you? Is that a red flag for you?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not. Now. I mean, because I'd probably enjoy it. I'd be like, oh yeah, like I enjoy the fact that I knew how to do something that they didn't know how to do, and make me feel useful. Cause most of the stuff I know I do.
Yeah. It's almost one of those things where like, you kind of want them to have you come help get them out. You know?
That's
it's like
why
a primal thing of like, I am useful.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not even
I can build you a fire. Yeah. I can get you out of this snowbank.
Yeah. That's why when you see someone stuck on the side of the road in the Midwest, there's that's like a Midwest, when you're driving through the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden you see a red thing show up on your Google Maps or whatever that indicates a traffic jam. One time I was driving through and I saw that. I was like, why is there a traffic jam in the middle of nowhere here? I get up, one person's like in the deal and 5 other trucks are stopped there trying to get them out.
Their hands on their hips.
Yeah, most of them like, leaning up against
what do you got going on down there?
Yeah, you guys need a chain? I got one back here.
It's like, okay, the person's like, no, we're fine. Someone's coming to help. And they're like, well, we better wait here until they get here. What if they break down on the way here?
Yeah.
Then you're not going to have anybody.
Yeah, and then I'll have to get them out. Every fella or gal with a truck is just dying to use the chain they put in their truck,
Yeah.
It's like when you're boating, too. You always have that one rope in case someone needs a tow.
Oh, yeah.
And how terrible is it when you finally find someone who needs a tow and you're like, where'd the rope go?
Yeah.
Well,
it's also embarrassing to be someone who needs a tow.
Oh, especially on a boat.
Like I've actually been on a jet ski before. It's like gone down. I think jet skis are more embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just look like a little dinky thing getting pulled behind a big boat.
Yeah.
You just feel like a dummy.
Yeah.
But I've even done well, maybe I should just jump in the water in the back, hold on, and just start kicking and just get back by myself.
Yeah.
Rather than flag someone down because it's like embarrassing to be like, she won't start. I don't know. You know,
just doing the remember when you were doing swimming lessons with the kickboard, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a really big kickboard. You get it over the shallows and then you walk on all the rocks home. Yeah, that's fun. All right, we got a couple more here before we wrap this up. Doesn't have extra blankets in the trunk for when she gets stuck in the ditch.
I thought you were going for something else there.
Something that rhymes with truck? Nope.
Yes.
I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah. Simmer down there, fella.
Not a red flag.
Not a red flag.
I think that, well, she should be able to be resourceful enough to be able to not have too much time where you're getting real freezing cold between someone comes and helps pull you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I still think that. You know what I think is a red flag? I think it's a red flag if the other person, could be the fella, could be the gal, or whatever, doesn't say, hey, do you have extra blankets in the back of your truck in case you get broke down?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's also a red flag of how much this gal is getting stuck in the ditch. And in the ditch, yeah. I think she's just a bad driver, you know? Like, should she have got her driver's license? I don't know.
Okay, and finally, red flag. By the way, we've totally ignored the red flag, green flag thing here. You know, we start off with a very clear game, and you didn't follow it at all. So for this last one, give it to me. Red flag, green flag. She says it's the heat, not the humidity.
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag. All right. And that is where we are going to leave it. Myles, thank you so much for coming on the Cripescast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Go listen to Charlie and I's Bellied Up podcast every week, every Thursday.
Yeah. And you can follow it. And we are going to do a better job of letting you know. We record these in bulks because Myles is in Fargo. I'm in Milwaukee. So I go to Fargo. Myles comes to Milwaukee. And we're going to try and be better about telling you when those dates are ahead of time. So, you know, so you can call in and we won't get those messages. Why don't you ever give us a heads up? So we have heard you. We have heard you, and we're going to give you more of a heads up this next time. Myles, it's always a pleasure. Where can people follow you personally?
Just You Betcha. OHH You Betcha on all the platforms.
And when are you going to get straight youbetcha.com? When's that coming?
You brought this up before. I'll work on it.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate it, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, tell your folks I says hi.
And hey, watch out for deer. Okay. Oh, yeah, you betcha. Yeah.